So good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our webinar this afternoon. In the next 45 minutes, we aim to give you some clear insights into the use cases and benefits of Microsoft's flagship unified comms platform, otherwise known as Lync 2013. There will be a chance to ask questions at the end, but if you would like to ask us any questions as we go through, there's the option to do so in the instant messaging window, which we'll show you how to use. So in order to get the best view with the Lync client, we suggest switching to full screen mode in your browser, and you can do this using the button shown to the right of the screen and also by pressing F11 as well. Then down in the bottom left of the screen, you have the chat icon. So you can click there and a small window will pop up and you can ask us any questions that might come to mind, or if you happen to be experiencing any sort of connection issues or can't hear what's being said, then by all means drop us a note there as well. So very quickly, I think what we'll do next, just before we launch into just a little bit about what's happening with Lync at the moment and also the demo, I'm just going to put a quick poll up on the screen. It's one of the cool features of Lync, just to get an idea of the kind of unified communication systems that you might already be using. So if you could using just a quick indication of what you might be using at the moment. We'll just take a couple of seconds for that. It's anonymous, so feel free to be honest. Okay, I think that's everybody. So Vim, if you'd like to... Good. Okay, so there's a reasonable split there. So 33% of people aren't using anything at present. Another third of you currently using Lync 2010, so you're probably interested in knowing what the difference is if you start to move up from 2010 to 2013. If you've got any specific questions there, we'll be happy to answer that. And a few of you on Lync 2013 as well, so perhaps you might be wanting to find out a bit about the enterprise voice capabilities or just extending the functionality that you're using already. So I think we'll just start back to the slides now. So if I could just introduce myself, I'm Ross Evans. I'm the marketing manager here at BlueSource, and I'm joined by my colleague Vim Mercer, who is the lead of our unified communications practice. So apart from being part of the marketing team here at BlueSource, I'm a real fan of Lync. I'm one of the biggest advocates of its use here. I use it pretty much all the time, day to day, in all kinds of business communications. Because I work in marketing, I like to work from home from time to time, or a lot. But Lync really helps keep me connected to the business. People can always find if I'm available. They can always contact me. They can always drop me an IM. I can video conference. I can be fully involved in the business pretty much no matter where I am. It's a bit of a pitch, but if you are familiar with Lync already, or you've got a unified comms platform, you'll know that it actually makes a huge difference day to day to how you are accessible to your business and how people become accessible to you just to get your job done. I guess the next thing to do is just to set the scene quickly for the content today, just in terms of what's actually happening with Lync. So it's really reached a point now where it is very well established as an enterprise class solution in the unified communications market. And one of the biggest advantages it has over the competition is the extent to which Microsoft has actually been able to integrate it into Microsoft Office and also SharePoint. So they dabbled around with 2010. There's always been a level of integration, but with 2013 and the whole suite of 2013 products, the integration across all of these tools is now actually really, really good. So it's being easy to pick up, and one of the reasons for it being easy to pick up is that Lync is actually a very familiar interface to most people. A lot of new systems that come into a business, there's a bit of a steep learning curve in terms of how things work. Lync very much functions, in the same way as their other products. Microsoft have made a huge amount of effort at the moment really to kind of bring a consumer experience to business products, and Lync has done that really well. It's very simple to use. You don't have to be particularly tech savvy to really start using a very technically capable product. The simplicity of instant messaging is a real help. It sounds simple. It's probably the quickest thing that people deploy day to day. It's really helpful to know if someone's available, that you can quickly drop them a quick note. You can progress a conversation from an IM into a phone call. Perhaps that phone call you need to add another person into it. You can bring another person into that meeting. You may want to share some slides, you might want to share a document, you may want to have help from someone to show you how to do something specific just using desktop sharing. And I think in general, I'm not a technical person myself, I just do appreciate the value that Lync brings to me and my colleagues. One of the most interesting and sort of amazing things about the platform is it does help to engineer a sort of small shift in your business, and it's quite fundamental, and it does make a big difference day to day. It just helps people to collaborate and get their job done in a slightly easier manner. So business efficiency is, this is the sort of slant of today's webinar. Have Lync help you to be more efficient in your business. And it's more than making it actually easy to communicate with colleagues. At one level, if you look at the entirety of the Lync stack, it can include a complete replacement for traditional telephone systems. And in this case, there's many major savings to be made, simply with the cost of a phone call, or, even the need to go on meetings or actually to leave the office. And actually, you could conduct quite a large portion of business or day-to-day collaboration and communication just using something like Lync. The whole Lync experience with online meetings, voice and video calling, that can also have a huge impact on other common business headaches, such as, like I said, the cost of travel. But then beyond that, how hard is it to get a meeting room sometimes? I know in my business, we need about 5 meeting rooms to get things done, and that's not realistic. With Lync, we can get away from that a lot of the time. We can have conversations with people that may be working from home. We can just talk to people across the office. We don't all need to be in a room to actually set up a meeting with our colleagues and partners, and more importantly, with our customers as well. So I've mentioned the benefits for myself as a home worker, and that's really important, but it also extends out to your remote sites as well. If you've got people on the move, or people that use laptops for most of the communications, or particularly with Lync 2013, people that really rely on things like iPads and sort of rich mobile devices to do their jobs, Lync really does add an extra dimension to the way in which they can actually get on and communicate with people. So it's enough from me. I'm going to hand over to the brains of the operation, which is VM. So he will now take us through just a quick overview of what we're going to see today, and then we'll jump right into the demo. So over to you, VM.
Thanks, Ross. So yeah, I'll just share out my desktop. Right, so into here. So the first thing to show you is not Lync at all, but Outlook. Typically, users are going to be in Outlook for a large proportion of the day. A lot of users are. And so you want to have a solution that's actually integrated into all of your business apps. So in this example, I've had an email coming from Ross. From within this preview pane, I can see Ross's presence. So the present status is here red, showing us in a conference call. So it's taking this information out of the Outlook calendar and providing that to me, so that I know Ross is in a conference call. I'm not likely to call him because he's not going to answer. So presence is really at the core of the Lync stack. Knowing someone's availability allows users to be more effective in the way they communicate. If someone's set to do not disturb, then they don't want to be disturbed. Maybe send them an email. If they're set to available, then by all means send them a call. It really does help to drive the solution and drive productivity out of the workforce. So from this click to communicate menu that I've got here, I've got a few options. Let me open up the contact card. So first of all, this contact card is consistent across all of the Microsoft apps. So whether you're in Lync, whether you're in Outlook, even across SharePoint, you'll see a similar interface. And from within here, I've got these click to communicate options. So the first one being click to IM. So right from within this window, I can send an instant message. We've got the click to call options. If I drop that down, I've got various options I can use to call Ross. Typically, I will use the computer or a Lync call because then that empowers Ross to forward to his mobile or do whatever he needs to do with the call, rather than me making the decision on where to place the call. The next option is click to video, which is right here, and then click to email. So all of your click to communicate options are right in there. If you were to integrate this into a traditional PBX or a legacy PBX, you could also do some elements of click to dial. But when you integrate into Lync, so all from within this application. So let's fire up an IM. I'll minimise Outlook there. So this opens up the Lync IM window, and so you can see straight from there, I don't actually need to go into the Lync client to start up an interaction. And if I just send an IM there, and we should get a response. So there we go. So we've started up with an IM session, and I might just be asking Ross if he's available to take a call. If I then want to add someone into the conversation, I just invite more people, find a user. Let me make sure I'm on who I want to add. Let's add that user in. So once I'm in there, I can reply to that IM. There we go. So now we've got a three-way IM session going. Now at this point, I might want to remove Ross from the conversation. So there we go. So now I'm going just point to point with my other attendee. So we started with an email. We've escalated to IM. We've now changed the focus of the IM session. I can add voice to this now. So if I just do a Lync call, that's going to call the other endpoint. Let me just answer that call. And so we've escalated to an audio call. We've still got the IM there as well, so we can still carry on with IM, but we've also got audio. I can then continue to build the modalities into this session, so I can add video. So as that video comes up, so I'm joining off Windows Mobile, but it could be an iPad or a mobile device or any other Lync endpoint. Following on from there, we can then add desktop sharing, which is what I'm doing here. We can share just a program out. So if we had multiple screens, we could share a particular screen. If I just wanted to share a particular program, I can do that. I can upload a PowerPoint presentation. So this is what we've done at the beginning. And actually the PowerPoint presentation will be rendered via a product called Office Web Apps. And the benefit of that is that you get high fidelity webinars. You can have embedded audio, embedded video. So it's quite a nice solution to be able to stream out it and then trying to share how it's actually streamed down from the server rather than being shared from the desktop. And we've got things like whiteboard sessions, polls, and Q&A. So let's jump back out of there. The other options I have when I'm in a particular meeting is I can record the meeting. So the meeting will be recorded to my desktop, and it's actually going to encode in WMV format. So right onto my desktop. I can then publish that to SharePoint or to a file share or to wherever I need to publish that. The other options I get inside this meeting window is information. So this gives you the link that you send out to participants, conference numbers and dial-in numbers and all that sort of information. So let me come out of this and we'll dive into the Lync client itself. Okay, so this is the main Lync client itself. This is part of the Office 2013 stack. If you were purchasing via Office 365, it's part of the Office Pro Plus, which will be deployed via click to run. There's also a Lync basic client which you can install. That's a free download from Microsoft. It gives you basic functionality, IM presence, point-to-point, voice and video calling, and it just doesn't support some of the more advanced features like hunt groups and call forwarding, this sort of thing. But for a basic user, it's very good, and it's a free bit of software. You don't have to roll out full Office for them. As you log into Lync, by default, it will start up at the with the log on to Windows, you come into this buddy list area. So this area at the top is called the Me area. You can see my status is set to presenting. If I drop the list down there, I've got a number of automatic present statuses. So, manual present statuses. So I could set myself to available, busy, do not disturb. So presenting is not on this list because it's an automatic status. Because I've started sharing my desktop, it knows I'm presenting, therefore it puts me in do not disturb. And that's going to block any inbound calls, send them to voicemail. It's going to block any inbound IM. So it's a very intelligent tries to make availability transparent to other users. If I happen to be walking away from my machine, but maybe I'm at home so I don't lock my desktop, I can set myself to appear away. The status of away will automatically go on when you lock your screen, so people know that you're away. And again, presence is really core to this solution. So the buddy list is compiled of my contacts that I communicate with the most. So I build these groups. They follow me whichever device I log into, and I'll add people in as I need to. Global address book. If I don't have someone in my buddy list, then I can just search for them just by typing their name into the search window there. And this is going to find anybody that's got Ross anywhere in their name. And it's a good search. You know, as you start typing, it's going to hone down the search and find the right person. So if I keep typing, there you go. Once you've found the person, you've got then a number of options. You've got your click to communicate options again. So again, they're trying to keep the user experience consistent across all of the apps. So we've got click to IM, click to call, click to video. And if I want to see the whole contact card, you just click that. There we go. We've got the same contact card that we had in Outlook. So again, keeping the user experience consistent across all of the various applications, which then allows users to feel at ease with the system, and ultimately it's going to help drive productivity. And it's going to make the solution a success in the business. Another thing down here is I'm not just limited to adding users from my own company. Let me find, where are they? So let's use Semantica there. So Ross Kircher here is a guy over at Semantic that I speak to. So this is a federated user. Users in another business. Here we go, some guys are audio codes. And I can do voice, video, IM sessions with them as well. That's going to go out over our internet connection. So rather than making a traditional telephone call, I can just do a federated call via Lync. So this really expands the system, and availability is around my availability to show. I can actually block that, but by default availability is available to everybody. The other people we can add in are Skype users. So with Skype we're allowed to do IM and audio currently. Video will be coming, I believe this year. It may be next year. I know there's some work being done on Skype and the way the codecs that they're using. So we expect there's going to be lots of more development. And so just to give you a bit of background, Skype is Microsoft's consumer product and Lync is Microsoft's business product. So the two integrate very nicely. So a couple other things to show on here then. So moving on from the buddy list, this is the persistent chat area. So persistent chat is a chat room functionality. It can be used for a number of things. So recently we've put a persistent chat solution in for a company that wanted to use emergency rooms. So if they have maybe buildings out of power or there's snow, people can't get into work, senior management could go into an emergency chat room and everything's logged, everything's archived. So if I jump into the Unified Comms chat room, you're going to see some of the old posts that I've put in there. finished, it's going to close down and disappear. So if I wanted to run a search, let's go into this area here, search chat room history. I could say search for everything that's got the word link in it across only. I could say I'm going to search for everybody, and there we go. So anywhere there's the word link comes up, and actually that I've done, but never mind. The search is fairly powerful, and the APIs are all available, so you can then integrate this into business apps. So if you wanted to put a front end around this and not use it within the Lync environment, then all the APIs are there to develop this as you need it. The next tab along here is my conversation history. So this is going to show all of the interactions, whether they're voice, video, IM sessions, everything I do is logged here. And this is going to show me worth of content in there. If I want to view more, I can just go into Outlook. And here we go. We've got the same information in Outlook. And that, so this is an archive. This is archived into Outlook. Was the call 34 seconds? That's great. So I can log my time for that. The next tab is when we come into the voice functionality. So Enterprise Voice is Microsoft's voice platform or PBX functionality platform. And this tab is included. It gives you a dial pad, makes it look like a soft phone. Typically, users won't use this. I do know some users that do come in here and click numbers, but you can just type a number straight into. Sorry, number lock's not on. So if I was to just type a number into there, assuming I filled that out and put a proper phone number in there, I could then just call that. So I tend to find using the dial pad of my keyboard is much easier. You may want to dial a number. Actually, the way most users will use the system is click to communicate. So you've got your users in your Outlook contacts, so you would just search for them from here. And then I can actually call, so this is my home number, I can call that straight from within this, this search window here. So you don't really need to remember phone numbers anymore. You just store them all in Outlook and they're all available from here. So each user is going to get their own address book, if you like. They're going to get the global address book amalgamated with their local contacts. So some other enterprise voice features. We've got a check call quality option. So there's a auto bot on one of the servers. When you click this, it will allow you to record a message and then play it back. Dodgy wireless connection in a hotel, or you've just bought a new headset and you want to just test out how good it is. You can actually record a message, listen to what the quality is before you join a meeting and provide bad quality. So it's just a way for you to check before you join meetings. Also within this window, I see the visual voicemail. So I can play this from directly within here. The voicemail is actually part of Exchange Unified Messaging. So it's integrated into Lync, but it's actually stored in your unified inbox. If I view more in Outlook, just to show you a bit better. So again, this is stored in your unified inbox. From within this window, I can play it. I can choose to play on phone. If I choose the play on phone option, I can then just enter my mobile number. It will call me on my mobile, play the voicemail to me, or I can just play it from within here. And there's always a clickable link which will allow. It's a very powerful tool. The Outlook Voice Access, which is the interface that you connect to within Exchange, is very intuitive. You can interact with your calendar, you can make phone calls. It's a very powerful tool. Back into Lync. So the other couple of other options on Enterprise Voice, I've got my call forwarding options. So within here, let me there, I can forward all my calls to voicemail or mobile if I wanted to another user, and this is equivalent to a permanent divert. If I wanted to SIM ring, I can simultaneously ring, again, mobile or any other number. Assuming I've got permissions to call that number, I'll be able to SIM ring it. So if I'm at home, maybe I don't get a very good mobile signal, I could SIM ring my home phone. Maybe my internet's not very good, so I don't want to take calls over through the laptop. I can actually take and set at home. And of course, you've got your voicemail options. So if I don't answer the phone, it's going to drop to voicemail. Last option here is just a very brief calendar, today's calendar. So it just gives you a very brief overview of what's going on in your calendar for today. That kind of covers the Lync client itself. One other thing to show you, jump into my calendar. Turn that one off. So if I wanted to, just to show you how to schedule a meeting, I pick an empty slot in the diary and I click the new Lync meeting button. As I click that, the meeting is already scheduled, so that's ready. I choose the date and time. I can just pick these out of the address book as normal. If I wanted to add external users, so let's say test user at outlook.com, I can add them in, give it a subject, and this meeting is now live. So if I click that link, it will actually take me straight into that meeting using the Lync client. If I don't have the Lync client, it will take me in and give me the Lync web app where you can use voice and video. And it also gives us all of the dial-in numbers, conference IDs, and everything is in this meeting request. And that's it. It's as easy as that. Once you send it, that's a meeting scheduled. As far as the options go, I can, by default, I'm using my dedicated meeting space, so it's no meeting options needed to be changed. If I want to change the options in there, I can actually choose what I want to show. So actually, let's put everybody into the lobby. So what that means is nobody's going to actually get into the meeting as an attendee before I join or before a presenter joins. So they can start the meeting off, but actually I can change that as well. Let's block everybody's video, let's mute all attendees and disable IM at the start of the meeting. So depending on what you're using the meeting for, if it's a collaborative session, you probably don't want to block anything. But if it's a webinar type environment, you can block everything as you send the meeting invite out, and that sets the meeting up from the start. So I'll just come out of that. So I appreciate it's a whistle-stop tour. If you'd like to see it in a bit more detail, would be more than happy to do a one-to-one session with you. So Lync comes in various forms. There's an on-premises solution and an online solution. With online, there's Office 365, which is Microsoft's hosted environment. That's classed as a public cloud environment, or there's also private cloud. So there's vendors out there that will, including us, that will provide you a private cloud solution hosted in a data center. So maybe not a data center that you own, but hosted, providing various Lync functionality. And it really depends on what functionality you want as to which way you would go. So just looking at the boxes here, if you wanted to, if you were looking for IM presence, you could essentially deliver that on premises or via the cloud. And so this says Office 365, but it's any cloud environment. Lync meetings, so an online meeting or Lync meeting, you can provide that on premises or via the cloud. The voice is where it starts to differentiate the systems. So voice and PBX functionality. So it's clear, we should be clear that voice, point-to-point voice, voice over IP between two Lync clients is available on premises and in the cloud. When you want to have PBX functionality, so calling out to the PST, that's the bit that's covered by enterprise voice, and you can provide that absolutely on premises. And the reason it's ticked with a asterisk is because you can license it via Office 365, but actually the kit that you deploy is on premises. So you can buy all your licensing. If you've got maybe, say, 1,000 users, 100 of them only need IAM and presence, you can do something called a hybrid solution. They can stay in the cloud. They only ever need IAM and presence. Anybody that needs voice actually sits on your on-premises solution, and it's fully integrated. It's all under a single SIP domain, but essentially you would do all your integration points locally on-premises. Now, on-premises could be private cloud, so there's a bit of a grey area there, but essentially it's Lync on your terms. Whatever business model you've got, whatever you need to have, and whatever functionality you need, there is a model that will suit. So just a little bit on the mobility client. The mobile client for Lync is available across Windows, Surface, iPhone and iPad and Android. Actually, when we talk about mobility, really laptops come into mobility as well, and it's about being available from anywhere or having the Lync client available from anywhere. So for a laptop user that's at home, Windows 8, there's an Windows 8 store app, and this all gives you a very similar experience. Difficult to kind of demo on a conference call, but the endpoint we were using earlier was actually a Windows phone. It's very cool, gives you voice and video straight from within the mobile client. The latest release gives us collaboration as well, so we can see parts of the streaming content that's coming down as well. So again, available Windows across the Apple and Android devices. So for the businesses that require an archiving of Lync, there's two tracks you can take. Lync does actually provide its own archiving. It's limited in the fact that it will dump everything out to SQL, and it will allow you to access it via PowerShell commands. So if that works for the business, then that is a solution that's available. If you need something a bit more intelligent with a search functionality, then we typically recommend Axiom's Vantage. This will archive all of your IMs. It will also archive all of your persistent chats into one archive and give you the search functionality. It provides things like ethical walls. You can also export the data out to other archiving solutions, such as Enterprise Vault, to put all of your compliance information into one place.
I just had a quick question right on that subject, actually, which is, does Enterprise Vault provide anything similar for Lync?
This is the
Lync archive. This is it. So you can't do it on its own.
No. So Vantage provides the interface between Lync and Enterprise Vault. So you don't have to then store it on Vantage. You actually pump the data straight out into Enterprise Vault, and then it's archived as normal.
And is it searchable once it's in the Enterprise Vault?
Absolutely. Yeah, and we can tag it to show that it's IAM traffic as well. Yeah, but it's all then available via the standard search functionality that EV gives you.
And archiving of voice, is that roadmapped, or is that
archiving of voice is available now, and that's within Vantage. That doesn't get pumped out to EV, so that will be stored within Vantage itself. But yeah, absolutely searchable. It will record all voice traffic as well. It also provides security protection as well, so you can start pumping in antivirus, anti-spam, this sort of stuff into the environment, which is something that doesn't really get looked at a lot in Lync. And most IAM platforms, actually, they get rolled out without thinking about potential viruses coming into the business. So just a quick look at what BlueSource can offer then. Essentially, we offer everything. So if you just wanted to engage us on a project, we can provide the professional services around that. And that's whether that's a private cloud, so we provide Lync 24/7 in our private cloud environment. If it's Lync Online, so an Office 365 engagement, we can provide the consulting services around that. Or if it's an on-premises solution, we can also provide the... alongside that is our Lync Managed Services track, which then manages the Lync environment end-to-end. And the benefit of our service is that we can provide that full end-to-end support from the handset on the desktop or the headset, right the way through the Lync client into the server infrastructure, where we monitor the server infrastructure 24/7, and right out to the connectivity, so things like your ISDN gateways or SIP trunks. So we actually can provide the SIP trunking element as well, and the lines and minutes and everything that goes with it. So it's a true end-to-end managed service. We currently offer 4 levels: silver, gold, silver,
bronze, diamond,
bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And they range from just break-fix support right up to a full managed service with moves, adds, and changes. So there's something for everyone in there. One other element that we're providing at the moment, so a service that we're providing, is our proof of concept environment. So on our Lync 24/7 multi-tenanted platform, we will provide typically a 1-month fully featured Lync 24/7 Lync environment, and that will give you the full enterprise voice, access to the desktop client, IM presence, conferencing. We do charge for the calls, but for everything else, it's £100 per user per month, and typically we see around about 10 users joining for a month. And then should you take that forward, it will be deductible from the full deployment cost. But it's a great way to de-risk the deployment. If you're not sure whether Lync is right for your business, throw the proof of concept in. All it requires is installing the clients on your environment. The only thing that we can't guarantee, obviously because it's going across the internet, is the call quality in that scenario. So when we move into full environments, we will typically recommend fixed lines to ensure we can put an SLA across the call quality.
Yeah, and just a note on the proof of concept, the £100 a month isn't really sort of indicative of the future costs of a Lync deployment at all. It's really just it just covers the cost of the infrastructure and the professional services needed to sort of set you up on it. And if you're interested in perhaps an Office 365 style demo of Lync, you may not be looking for the full enterprise voice solution at the moment. VM, is there anything?
Yeah, we can absolutely help with that as well. No problem at all. So Microsoft currently offer a 30-day trial of their E3 plan, which includes everything other than PSTN conferencing. So you won't be able to dial into conferences, and it doesn't include voice. But point-to-point voice, video, you'll be able to do that, and Lync meetings, we'll be able to do that, desk sharing, that sort of thing.
Okay, that pretty much brings us to the end. So just take this opportunity to thank everybody for taking the time today. We hope you've seen something interesting here. We are available to answer any further questions you might have about how to deploy Lync, how you might integrate it with any of the existing systems you might already have in place. And from myself and Vim, wish you a very good afternoon, and we hope to speak to you in the near future.